Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about 3 ways to find a healthy lifestyle approach that will work for you and what needs to fit your lifestyle. If you're a parent, maybe you're super busy, you have a stressful job, these are 3 things that you can really look at and try to find what works best for you. My number one is tracking. So if you don't know your body, if you're not familiar with the way you handle nutrients when you've eaten them, tracking is a really good way to go about doing that. And it really lets you learn what kind of foods work for you and what kind of foods don't. You can go really detailed into tracking. The more detailed, the better. You can say, I ate such and such things and kind of record your emotions, how you're feeling energy-wise, things like that. It's really important to know your body and learn what works for you, because there are so many of these cookie cutter diets out there. There's so many of these cookie cutter diets out there that don't take into consideration each and every individual's needs as far as nutrients goes. And you'll really learn what works for you and what doesn't when you're tracking, especially if you're not only tracking your food and your water, but what you're also tracking is your daily weight. I know a lot of people hate to weigh daily. They think it's going to be a mindset setback if the scale doesn't go down, if they're or up, whatever results you're working towards. But weighing daily and tracking your food really does help you see, especially when you're tracking with detail, it really helps you see what foods really fuel your body and what foods you could probably eat less of, or maybe just use them as treats when you decide to treat yourself. My next one is finding a fitness approach that you're going to enjoy in the long run. So obviously you don't have to do the same routine every single day, because if you're doing that, you're not working different muscles, you're not getting the benefits of anaerobic exercise, and you want to make sure that you are really using your best approach. So the best way to do this is to kind of try different things out. Maybe you enjoy dancing, so you try a dancing program like Zumba or Size. Maybe you really enjoy cardio. The thing with cardio is that you do have to be careful with doing too much, because too much cardio can actually kick in cortisol levels, which actually causes your body stress, and it causes you to hold on to excess weight, whether that's water weight or it goes into survival mode. So definitely keep that in mind, and really keep in mind, because I hear it from a lot of people that they don't really enjoy lifting weights, and you don't have to lift weights to do strength training. You can do a lot of body weight exercises by doing squats, by doing different lunges, things like that. There's tons of body weight programs that don't use any weights. Weights are great. I love weights. I like a good mix of weights and cardio. Weights are a good way to build your muscle, so you're actually burning more calories throughout the day because you have a higher muscle mass, and that actually helps you burn calories at rest. So you need both. You need a mix of both. You don't have to go crazy with the cardio. You don't have to go crazy with the weights, but just keep it fun. And the thing that I like to do is change it up every once in a while. So every 3 months, I usually change it up. The program that I'm doing right now, I'm actually doing a hybrid. So I'm doing different programs, trying out, seeing what I enjoy, trying out things that maybe before I wouldn't have thought to try out. a lot of like kickboxing, MMA style, some dancing, which in the beginning you could feel really uncoordinated, and let's be honest, in the beginning, if you're just starting out, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose, you're not going to necessarily want to work out or to do something like that. But if you are just starting out, a great thing to do is like walk. When I first started, before I ever did a structured program, what I did is I walked daily with a friend, especially when the weather is nice. If you have, a gym membership, or a lot of the YMCAs, they have the indoor tracks, and those are really great for the winter time, to change things up. And walking is just really one of those things where, especially if you're walking alone, you can pop in a podcast or pop in some music and really get out of your own head, have some time alone. If you're like me, if you're an introvert and you like to have that alone time, it's a really good thing to do. Recently, I've been trying out just jogging. I never was a runner. I did sports, but I didn't really enjoy the conditioning aspect of it because I was always, on the heavier side. And so really enjoying new things, trying out new things, and doing things that I may not necessarily have enjoyed in the past, but maybe I want to try them out just to see if, it really does let you know how far you've come, not only with your physical body, you're able to jog, you're able to lift heavier weights and things like that, but just your mindset of where it can really help you see. When I was doing this activity before, when I had a lot of weight to lose, or before I really took my journey seriously, and then you can compare them and see how far you've come mindset wise. And the last thing is an emphasis on water. And to track it is a really great idea. I always talk about that because water is so important. I learned today that your brain is made up of 80% water and your body is made up of mostly water. So you really need to get onto your water intake. The best thing you could do to wake up your system in the morning before you eat anything is to drink 16 to 30 ounces of water or more, because the more water you drink, it just like wakes your body up. It tells you, hey, and it gives you, it eases you in, it eases your digestive system into waking up for the day and getting started, because I don't think we realize a lot of times we put our digestive tract through a lot, and it's really nice to give it that ease into things. So the first thing you should do is drink water, and try not to have like heavy sugar foods, sugary cereals, things like that, because it really does like shock your body. If you focus on proteins and complex carbs after you've drank your water. I always have my coffee with some MCT oil. Good fats are always good to have. Obviously don't go overboard, but that's with any food group. Fats do not make you fat. Any food group can make you fat if you overeat on it and eat in excess. So those are really my tips for, finding something that works for you, because we're different. If you hear that, something works for somebody, it may not necessarily work for you. And we need to get out of this cookie cutter mindset where, it has to work for me because it worked for so-and-so. Well, no, it doesn't. Because we're different. We have different DNA. We're just different. Like our body types are different, and it's really important to realize that and really to go about enjoying your journey. Because if you are not enjoying it, if you find it a chore, you're not gonna stay. Long term, it's not gonna be sustainable. You're gonna dread it, and that's not something that you want to do when it comes to your journey. Are you gonna love every single workout? Probably not, but you are at least going to have an appreciation for what your body can do and how far it's come. And taking those pictures and getting those, daily tracking and things like that is very important too. But those are 3 things that you can really focus on that are going to get you started and going to keep it fun and interesting, and also going to teach you about your own body, because knowing your own body is so important. Like, I don't think enough people take the time to really get to know their body and to get to know what things work and what don't, especially when it comes to nutrition, but also when it comes to workouts, because most plans are based on the average person, and none of us are really average, right? Like, we're our own person, so we really need to find something that works for us and change it up when we're not seeing the results that we want to see, when we're actually putting in all the work. If you're putting in all the work and you're not seeing the results, maybe this program's not for you, or maybe this exercise isn't for you. And you can kind of track how, also with your food and your water, you can track about, and your emotions and things like that, you can track, like, oh, this exercise, when I finished, I felt great. When I did this exercise, I didn't feel like it really worked for me. And that's another way you can gauge to see what things are working and what things are not. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode today, and stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you so much for tuning in today and sharing this time with me. Please stay tuned for future episodes and check out my podcast.